In the far-off year of 1990, John Saxon and Dennis Hopper, amongst others, visit Mars to rendezvous with a fallen alien spacecraft en route to Earth. What they find there is more terrifying than, well, not a whole lot, but horrific nonetheless. This is Queen of Blood, also known as Planet of Blood, a Roger Corman production. This was an indie film at its most bottom-of-the-barrel cheap. This 1966 film was shot in just 6 days, all of them long and devoid of union rules, meaning that the crew worked sometimes all night to get through the necessary filming. Queen of Blood often feels like a Power Rangers episode in the way that it reconstitutes footage from a foreign production. You see, what happened here was Roger Corman got access to 2 Soviet sci-fi flicks, A Dream Come True and Nebo Zavyat. He hired director Curtis Harrington, fresh off his extremely enjoyable and experimental Night Tide, to craft a story around the special effects footage from these films and produce a feature combining said footage with new footage of American actors. While filming Queen of Blood, Harrington also shot footage for 1965's Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, which also just so happens to have included footage from A Dream Come True and Nebo Zavyat, with the primary film being the Soviet production Planeta Burr, or Planet of Storms. Wanting to do a story about a space vampire, Harrington came up with the idea of a female vamp to match the footage from A Dream Come True, which featured an alien queen. If it sounds like this hodgepodge of sources might create something impenetrable, I have some good news. Queen of Blood is incredibly easy to follow. It's a simple story of astronauts seeking a life form from outer space, only to have their comeuppance when that life form turns out to be deadly. Sure, there's a bunch of exposition, some of it even coming from Sherlock Holmes himself, Basil Rathbone.
Well, gentlemen, our mystery should be solved very soon.
But it all really just comes down to aliens need us, and let's go save the alien, and oh no, alien bad actually. Between those scenes, we get the aforementioned special effects shots from the Russian films, which constitute a huge portion of the runtime. According to Harrington, between 70 and 90% of the final film is his original footage, but, I don't know, man. Maybe 70%. Maybe.
We are obviously in touch with beings who have a very highly evolved technology.
Curtis Harrington was quoted also as saying that Queen of Blood had to have had some influence on Ridley Scott's Alien. I guess I can understand this to an extent. There's the whole letting an alien being aboard a ship, exploration of a derelict spacecraft, the space burial of a fallen comrade, and even the alien eggs. However, the similarities mostly end there, and even then, they're not quite as one-to-one as I probably made them sound. Let's back things up a bit. I did eventually find copies of both A Dream Come True and Nebo Zavyat, the latter of which translates to something like The Heavens Beckon, and I watched that one first, since it's the oldest, having come out in 1959. One aspect I found really charming was that the film starts off with a reporter talking to the head of this space program, who shows him all these models that will inevitably be used in the actual film. This space station, for example, is where the space shuttle initially docks. It reminds me a lot of the space station in 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it's pretty obvious that the film, also known as The Sky Calls, had some influence on Stanley Kubrick's landmark picture. In fact, production designer Yuri Shvets was even brought on to aid Kubrick in pre-production on 2001. Nebo Zavyat is essentially one big look how cool the future could be propaganda piece, something you could say the first half of 2001 pretty expertly does just as well. Unfortunately, while the film looks great and features some mesmerizing special effects for 1959, it is, well, kinda boring. The plot follows Russian cosmonauts planning and executing humanity's first trip to Mars, only to be diverted due to some dumbass Americans who try the same mission without the proper preparation. Eventually, they land on an asteroid just short of Mars, where they're stranded with their American counterparts while awaiting aid from Earth. And yeah, that's basically the plot. It's a little simplistic and kinda dull. Still, great looking picture, and one I'd love to see in glorious 4K. In 1962, Nebo Zavyat was actually released more intact by Roger Corman, who had Francis Ford Coppola re-edit the whole thing to create Battle Beyond the Sun. This version completely nixes the Soviet versus United States plot in favor of the idea of North and South hemispheres of Earth attempting to make it to Mars. I didn't actually bother watching the whole thing, if I'm being honest. I kind of just skimmed through it and was pleasantly surprised to find that the Coppola cut features alien monsters not present in the Soviet version, including this, vagina monster. So that's neat. But Nebozavyat was not the primary picture to be salvaged for Queen of Blood. That honor absolutely goes to A Dream Come True, aka Encounter in Space. I'm not even going to try pronouncing the Russian title. I already probably butchered Nebozavyat, so no point pissing off the Russians any further. Anyway, A Dream Come True is a bit wackier of a concept, with this one actually featuring an alien species with their own ship and everything. Look at it go! Similarly to Queen of Blood, scientists receive a message from the alien ship, which leads a bunch of astronauts to be sent to aid the aliens after they crash on Mars. We witness the whole world come together for this Herculean task, sending resources to the moon in order to aid the starship Ocean in its rescue mission. From there, we even get 2 astronauts landing on Phobos as a means of searching for lost intergalactic cosmonauts, and in turn stumbling across the remaining alien's ship. However, instead of leading them to a blood-sucking broad with ill intent, they find a different, more subdued kind of alien dame to take back to Earth. It's kinda wild to watch A Dream Come True so close to Queen of Blood. While the former never reaches the horrific plot beats of the latter, the number of shots cribbed from the Russian film for the sake of the Corman production is intense. Overall, A Dream Come True is about on Nebozavyat's level in terms of overall entertainment value. It also presents us with dazzling images and impressive models, but those can't really make up for dry sensibility and mostly boring plot, though there is something to be said about the tragic musician astronaut. So yeah, that's about all I've got to say about Queen of Blood. It's a just sort of fine sci-fi romp that's probably most interesting due to the ingredients that brought it into being. Those ingredients, however, while great to look at, don't really pack much more flavor than what we get in Queen of Blood. It's not something I'm quick to recommend unless you just really want the full Roger Corman experience, or, I don't know, you're doing a Curtis Harrington retrospective. I'm sure there's dozens of you.
I'll see what can be arranged.
But hey, have you seen Queen of Blood? What did you think? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, go watch a movie.
It's gonna take me some time to give you all that is mine. I'm looking ultra fine from your view from behind. It's gonna take me some time to give you all that is mine. I'm looking ultra fine from your view from behind. As my phone, twerk and play out. You got what's coming, you gonna shout. Sit right down, boy, hands in a cup. I'm gonna show you exactly what's up. Gonna give you that booty flavor.